Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to day number 4 of my 10-day experiment thing. As I mentioned in my last video, I am talking today about the day-to-day that you will experience within whatever program you've gone to, or at the very least, I'll give you an idea of what you might experience in the program that you've gone into, because I was in these programs for like 17 months. Because I spent 1 month up in the Safehouse and 16 months down in TILP, because I know for a fact that I have said 16 months about TILP in video number 1, and thus far I am I'm telling you that I'm not lying about that. I was down there for 16 months, but I was upstairs for around a month also, so 17 months total in all of these programs. As I mentioned in video number 3, there are a lot of programs that a lot of groups that you will likely be asked to participate in these programs, because they are working to better you as an individual and help you rebuild and recover, and they want to teach you the skills that you may or may not already know about how to live a good and productive and responsible life. These groups are often led by either the program that you're in itself or other programs that work with said program. For example, one of the programs that I was in once or twice, or once a week, around 3 weeks every month, was the child advocacy programs group, where they would come into the Safehouse and they would talk to the Safehouse kids and the TILP kids. And that's only one of many examples of which we will be talking about today. So first thing we're going to do is start with CAP, which is, again, the child advocacy program. Their group was pretty much just talking about how to handle relationships, how to deal with red flags, how to spot them, how to leave unsafe relationships and situations that you may be in the future, because, sometimes as a kid, you don't get the choice to leave. You're taken, you're placed somewhere. But as an adult, you don't get that option. So it's important to know where you can go, what steps you can take as an adult when you're experiencing an abusive or unhealthy relationship. They also talked about a lot of the key differences between a normal argument in a relationship or manipulative arguments in relationships. They were really good about making sure that you knew the difference between what was actually happening and common misconceptions, because a lot of the time the truth can actually be really, really construed, depending on how you tell the story, which happens. People will tell a story and they will think that they're entirely honest, but everyone remembers everything differently. Everyone's experiences are different because of this. Even if you're two people in the same position, in the same conversation, you both will remember it very, very differently, and it's actually very interesting, but we don't have the time or the energy tonight to actually delve into those things. The CAP program would come in a handful of times a month, and they would talk to kids, and they would just try to get their opinions on the things that they were talking about. They bring awareness to various things. Like right now, it is October, and that means that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. There's also Child Abuse Prevention Month. There's various things that months symbolize, that the child advocacy program, the ladies that would come in to see us, would often shine some light on for us. They'd make us aware of these things. Another program that came in was SNAP Ed, which has since been defunded. Overall, SNAP Ed was a fan favorite. it didn't last very long. I was, honestly, one of the first time SNAP Ed came in was when I was there, and so, the woman who did SNAP Ed with us, which was basically a glorified cooking class. I actually plan later this weekend when I have time to go out and shop and cook to show you a recipe that I was given from this SNAP Ed lady for a healthy dinner that you can make with really cheap. The point of the class was to teach you how to shop efficiently for healthy food, how to find healthy recipes on various SNAP. There's various websites you can look for healthy and organic recipes that honestly are really, really good. I was a big fan of all of the smoothies and drinks that we made, one of which was a healthy way to make basically a peanut butter and chocolate milkshake. It was amazing, phenomenal, and I'm not a chocolate person, and it was very chocolatey, and I loved it. Same thing with brownies. We made brownies that were healthy, black bean brownies. And pretty much the point was to teach you, how to spend SNAP and money on healthy foods, where to go to find these healthy foods, mostly Tops, especially since they started doing that spend SNAP, get coupons thing, where if you're using your food stamps on healthy food, you'll get coupons back so that you don't really lose that money, so that you can get more healthy food. It's a wonderful cycle. It's beautiful. One of the best things Tops did, to my knowledge, ever. She would also walk you through the steps on how to cook said food, sometimes even letting us cook with her. So we learned how to cook chicken and how to use a blender and how to chop different fruits and vegetables, how to use a skillet. We made skillet granola once or twice. I don't own a skillet in college, so that unfortunately is not what I'm going to be teaching you how to do. But she would really, it was great, and she was always friendly and personable, and she loved hearing stories from us. We loved talking and cooking together. It was always fun, and then we got a treat after, not a treat, but we got to eat after, which is always fun to get snacks. And it was a humongous bummer when her program finally got canceled, because we'd been mulling over it for months and months, and there had been petitions and all sorts of things, and it was just really unfortunate to take that opportunity away from so many people. Another program that I did that was really just for TILP kids was something called Life Skills. This program was run by the staff who worked up in the Safehouse. So it really gave us a good chance to know each other as well as them, which meant that I ended up getting kind of familiar with the staff who ran Life Skills, which was really just one guy. Since the woman who did it when I first went downstairs into TILP was gone pretty quickly. As in she moved way out of state, which great for her, honestly. Wonderful for her. But so this group was really just to help teach you how to be a person. It involved various cleaning things, various, dietary ideas, various relationships, emotion management, why you shouldn't do drugs. We looked over driver's manuals once. It was just general things you need to know for life. So how to drive and how to deal with your own emotions and how to not do drugs and how to handle other people and why you shouldn't be discriminatory, which was an interesting lesson. For the most part, these were really just general skills. There were so many of them in this book that has been in rotation for so many years. It's actually shocking how many years. And at the end of the day, because me and the kids I was in this group with actually knew a lot of these skills already, it mostly just became us joking around, especially the further into my time in TILP that I was once I had more permanent friends, because in programs like this, people do come and go a lot, so it's really hard to find friends and hold on to them. And these friends who I'm referencing, I'll talk a lot more about in my next video, where I'm discussing found family, which is just the friends and the people that you meet that become like family while you're in these places, especially if you're in them for long enough, because I personally became very attached to a lot of these people, and even now sometimes I forget that they aren't a normal part of my life as much anymore. So I think it's important to talk about that, especially with all of the feelings that go into losing your family. But again, that's not our topic for today, so we're going to move on to the more rare groups that we did. Every month or so, our parent company, which I guess I might as well name if I'm starting to put hashtags into things and I'm naming programs that are my state specific or occasionally my county specific, it's fine. You can't find me right now. Jesus. But our parent company, which was COI, Chautauqua Opportunities Incorporated, horrifying for me to be saying that and knowing I'm going to put it on the internet, by the way. But Chautauqua Opportunities Incorporated, or COI, had these events once a month-ish that were a good opportunity to get kids out and about in ways that would help the community. And this ranged from various things like rock painting, or going down to a firehouse, or park cleanups. There were a few of those. We visited the Humane Society with dogs. Well, not we, but I was out of the program by then, but that was something that happened. The Humane Society, there was the food kitchen, bell ringing. We did several things. We went to a retirement home and spent time playing games and making crafts with the old ladies there, who were all so delightful, and I wish I got to go back while I was still there. But so these were just various ways for us to learn about the things in our community while also giving back to the community, and it gave us a good chance to just go outside and get some fresh air, especially for the Safehouse kids who really couldn't go many places. And this event was actually open to the public, these volunteer event things, where other members of the community who knew about them could actually just tag along if they wanted to. And some of these events were at the Safehouse, which would be during the holidays. We'd have a Christmas event. We have a Halloween event, which I plan to go to in a couple of weeks, which dates this video, but that's fine. It's dated when I post it anyway. It'll be dated. There was also, we would do an Easter event, and we always had one staff member who would wear all the costumes, who would dress up. Absolutely hilarious. I have pictures of him as all 0.5s of him in his various costumes. And if you're young enough to still believe in Santa and the Easter Bunny, then I'm sorry, it's just a big man in a suit, at least in this case. But yeah, and it was always really fun to get to interact with a lot of these young kids who would come through. My favorite thing was being at the crafts part of it. The one time I made rabbit headbands. Another time we did little Christmas tree ornaments. And I think, I wish I could remember. Oh, Halloween's craft was we made stress balls out of balloons with rice and flour. Which was unfortunate because me and the staff member who were running that booth that year were both in black velvet. Great thing to be wearing while you're filling little balloons full of flour. But overall these events were usually pretty fun. There was the occasional one that wasn't so great. But when you had the right people there with you, or when you were doing something you cared about, you tended to actually do it and enjoy doing it. And it was a really good way to help get kids involved with the community, especially kids who might not have known about the ways to get involved with the community or thought to do things. And every few months we'd have a meeting with all of the kids who were in the Safehouse and in TILP, where we'd discuss what events we wanted to do in the future, what volunteer opportunities we wanted to have, so that we could actually do more if we wanted to, and that we could do the things we wanted to do when we wanted to do them. And overall, all of these events were just really fun, really nice to do. Especially the holiday ones. I really liked the holiday ones where we got to interact with kids for like 5 seconds. Or the going to the old folks one was one of my favorites too. And these were just amazingly fun things for us to do. And, a lot of the events that we do end up posted on COI's Facebook page, because of course they have a Facebook page. So you'll see various things about staff members and events that are going on. And it's just, it's really cool to get to do stuff like that. And it's cool that at least this program offered it. And I hope that others do offer things like that. Because those were always really fun. And for the most part, everyone seemed to like them. On occasion, you'd get stuck doing something you didn't want to do. Like one time we went and we helped organize like an antiques thrift store kind of thing, and that one didn't go so well, but for the most part they end up pretty good. We have a good time, we get to see people, meet people, it's fun, it's nice. And again, it's always really important to have that opportunity to get out there and get some fresh air and do some nice things and help the community. Giving back is always really, really important, I think, personally. There were also a few groups that were temporary, especially over the summers, because over the summer people aren't in school anymore, so you need more things for people to do to stay occupied. One group that we had was our local YWCA would come in and they would talk to us. They put us through a couple of pretty much reproductive lessons. We learned about different birth controls and relationship red flags. Again, that was a big one, is red flags and relationships was really important across a lot of these groups. We watched some of the infamous One Love videos, which if you haven't seen, you should check out One Love. They're amazing. They have a bunch of videos for all sorts of demographics to bring light to domestic violence issues, whether that be it's just amazing. There's a million scenarios over there. It's amazing. There is my favorite one is, and I wish I could remember this girl's name, but it's her and she met this guy in college and they seemed to be getting along really well until all of a sudden things got really serious really quick. And that's personally one of my favorites. I've seen it several times. You should look into One Love. They're amazing. And it was really nice to get to talk to the YWCA because they were really forthcoming about women's reproductive rights and birth control and just the things that seem necessary to know if you're going to be an adult who has adult relationships. There was also the ANU Center, which is directly linked with our Salvation Army. They deal with a lot of domestic violence situations. And the lady who came in for that, I actually am still in contact with because she's at the college that I go to a lot. So we love her. And she was big on respecting boundaries, making boundaries, what boundaries are, and how to have healthy conversations and how to understand your emotions and other people's emotions and how to deal with arguments and things. And it's a really good lesson. All of these are really good lessons. They're all really important things to know. All of these groups were important in their own ways, even though some of them were a little bit repetitive, especially when it came to relationship and dating, violence and red flags and effects. But it's still really important to have that information put into your head, because at the end of the day, knowing how to do all of these things, knowing how to regulate your emotions and deal with relationships and cook and clean and keep yourself healthy and safe, all of these things are important for you as a person to know, which is why these groups were there. And having those experiences are, as much as we would moan and groan about having to go to group, honestly, they were really good experiences that not only taught you things that you needed to know, but bonded you with these people in the community who could help you if you needed help, and the people that you were at times living with and sharing a space with. And overall, these things were really good. And whether you end up in a home or a program that will put you into these groups or not, it's important to maybe look into some of them anyway and maybe get a better understanding for how to do certain things, because you don't always realize how much you don't know how to do until you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out how to do it and you have no idea what to do. Because I will say this openly, when I was kicked out, I did not know how to hold a broom and clean a toilet or a shower or a sink or literally anything. I was kind of unfortunately helpless, and luckily for me, going through these groups and having people around to help me learn was really necessary and really important, because sometimes people forget that you have to teach your kids how to be people. I think it's brought up a lot that no one ever teaches you how to handle emotions. You're just expected to handle them, which is wrong in my personal opinion. But I can't say what's right or wrong because everyone's different. But it's important to have people there to teach you everything that you need to be taught, and to have those reminders that, hey, you don't always know everything that you're doing, and that's okay. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have all the answers. And not having the answers it's okay. You should be allowed to ask for help. And a lot of the time people don't always realize that. And I know that I'm starting to ramble, but it is important what I'm rambling about. For once in these videos, it's important. And for once in these videos, I think I've actually covered all of the topics that I wanted to cover, so there shouldn't be any voiceovers, I hope, that are me adding in snippets that I forgot about. Maybe it's just that this is a lot more of a straightforward topic to talk about when I've categorized every group that I've been in for the last year and a half, right, in theory. You will probably be in groups and they will teach you things, and you should listen, because learning these things is important, not only to your life, but to the lives of the people around you, because if you have to deal with you, so does everybody else, if that makes sense. Not to say that dealing with you is a negative thing. I don't mean to make it negative, but I mean, if you have to feel what you feel and you don't know how to express it outwardly, and you express it outwardly poorly, then the people around you are going to deal with the way that you're expressing it outwardly. Again, everything here, very important. Take a look into some of these programs that I talked about. Take a look into some of these lessons that I've talked about. If you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know how to do some of these things, look it up. Take a minute, look it up. Look up a how-to video. You're already here. Go find. I can't link anything. Go find things. When you look up these videos, I actually watch them and listen to them, because as somebody who has looked up, how do I do this, and not actually followed the directions properly, tried to skim through it and rush through it and do it poorly for my own convenience, it doesn't work well. It actually does the opposite of helping you, honestly. But yeah, so that's the end of my spiel. I guess this was less about the day-to-day, which is pretty monotonous, honestly, and more about all of the groups and programs you may encounter while you're here or while you're there, which it will be your day-to-day. These groups will be your day-to-day. You might not experience these groups every single day, but they will become your day-to-day. For me, it was Mondays we had this group, and Wednesdays we'd have this group, and sometimes Thursdays we'd have a different group, and sometimes there'd be an extra event sprinkled in there somewhere. There's just all of these things, and even outside of them, there's people around you who you can talk to and learn with. You'll find out pretty quickly that some of the first questions that are asked when you're meeting new people in these places are, why are you here? What's your story? And it's some of the stories are really, really interesting to see, honestly. And overall, it just gets to be such an experience. And while at first it is terrifying, as you go through it, you'll find that you're doing good things. You're making it. You're making it through school. You're working a job. You're learning things you need to learn. You're helping your community, and you're doing it with people that, while you may not always form bonds with, you might be doing it with people that you come to actually genuinely enjoy being around. And I guess that's the point of this video, is to say that, yeah, you're going to be stuck into situations that maybe you don't want to be stuck into. You're going to be forced to do these groups, to do these things and activities that maybe you're sitting here and you're thinking, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. That's too much effort. I can't do that. And you'll come to find out that getting to do these things is actually way better than if you never got to do them in the first place. Even if you gripe and whine and moan about, oh, we have group today, we have to do group today, it's a worthwhile experience. Even if you don't agree with all of the rules or all of the things that people are telling you, it's worth it to be there, is what I mean. And I hope that knowing that helps ease your mind when you're thinking about whether you or somebody else is thinking about having to go to a program like this. And I suppose that's it for me for tonight. So that concludes day 4. And in day 5, we will be discussing the relationships that you'll build along the way. So I hope to see you there, viewer.